I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors.
Hola mis amores, this is MASSI DIYs. Welcome to my channel. For today's DIYs, I am sharing with you guys 6 DIYs made with Dollar Tree items. Let's go ahead and start with our first tutorial. For the first DIY, I'll be using this container that I got from the party section at Dollar Tree and also this candle holder. With this really white paint, I'm giving my pieces 2 coats. Here I'm sanding the parts where I'm adding the glue so they can bond better. With my sandpaper, I'm sanding all the details this gorgeous container has, and I'll be doing the same thing for the candle holder. I decided to distress this piece even more by sanding other areas, sanding in only one direction, and I did this to make it look older. Finally, for the lid, I did the same thing. I sanded all the details I wanted to stand out. These stencils are also from Walmart, and I actually got this because I wanted to use the little cow, but once I finished with the project it looked more like a candy jar, so I decided to use this 5 cents, and now it really is going to look like an old vintage candy jar. For this stencil, I'll be using this black paint and a piece of a sponge. For projects like this, I love using my hair dryer. It just makes everything so much easier by drying everything fast. Now remove the stencil very carefully, and if you have any mistakes from the paint bleeding outside the stencil or inside the stencil, just brush some white paint and that will take care of it. Since I want this piece to look very vintage and old, I decided to dry brush some white paint on top, and dry brushing just means that you have almost no paint on your brush. I made a super cute and simple bow using some leftover ribbon that I have from Walmart. I wanted to glue it on the top, but the details are so pretty that I decided to glue it in between both pieces. For my second DIY, I'll be using this Let Us Know sign from Dollar Tree. I removed the letters and I'll use them next Christmas. This next step is totally optional. I removed as much paper as I could. I gave it just 1 coat of white paint. I flipped it to what's going to be the front. I removed the little tag in the middle, and now I'm going to give it 2 coats of Waverly white paint. To make this look like real planks of wood, I'm using a ruler, and with a brush and some gray paint, I painted the lines. Now with my brush, I went on top and I kind of blended everything to create shadows and make everything look more realistic. If you like the sign the way it is right now, you can stop right here and you can move to the next step, but I decided that I wanted to blend everything with some more white paint because I want the sign to look kind of blurry in a way. I want it to look far away. I don't want the lines to be the focal point of the sign. I want this little cute house to be the focal point, and I'm also adding a little heart that I took from one of the signs that I used for a previous DIY. I gave the little house 2 coats of the same white paint, and I'm giving 2 coats of black paint to the little heart, and I'm also painting black these cute little letters from Dollar Tree. Now with an oil-based black Sharpie, I will go around the little house and I'm going to draw little lines. You can also use the little heart as the O for home, but I think it looks way cuter on top of the house. Now it's time to glue everything with the hot glue. I removed one of the stems to make a little wreath. I cut some of the leaves so it can look more open and more like a wreath, and I also made a little bow using some of the twine from Dollar Tree. To hang the sign, I'll be using this rope, also from Dollar Tree. Since the rope is too big to fit into the hole, what I did is I glue the ends of the rope in the back, and on the front I added 2 little knots, and now it gives the illusion that it fit through the hole and you made a little knot in the front. I added a lot of glue to the back, and to make it a little bit prettier, I added some of the same rope that I opened and I glued it to the top. And the final step is to glue both of the little knots on top of the holes. For the third DIY, I used this calendar from Dollar Tree. I took it apart. This piece of wood plaque is from Michael's, and I will give it 2 coats of white paint as well as the other 2 pieces. Make everything look more rustic, I decided to sand all the corners with my sandpaper. This would be the back of the piece, but I sanded as much as I could to remove some of the paper, and I just gave it 1 coat of white paint. Then I flipped it over and I gave it 2 coats of white paint. With the same oil-based black Sharpie that I used on the previous DIY, I highlighted all the edges. I wrote the word today, and then I went on top with the same black Sharpie. highlighted the edges of the other pieces as well. I want the letters to look faded away, so I dry brushed some white paint on top. For the final step, I glued everything back on top of the wood plaque, making sure everything was centered. Fourth DIY is super duper easy. I found this container at the party section at Dollar Tree, and I filled it with this white rocks and some succulents from Dollar Tree too. To complete this piece, I used one of the stencils. I used the black paint and I did the same thing all around the container. I didn't measure any space or anything like that, super simple. These little wood-shaped houses are from Michael's and I paid 99 cents for each one of them. I painted 2 of the houses white with the same Waverly white paint, and one of the houses I painted gray. I gave all the houses 2 coats of paint and I painted the back and the front and I let it dry. Traced the shape of the little house on top of this paper that I found at Hobby Lobby. I just paid a couple of cents for it. And with my scissors, I cut it and I added some Mod Podge to the little house and glued the piece of paper. Now I sanded all the corners of the little sign with my sandpaper, and I sanded away from the paper, not towards the paper. I repeated the same steps for the other 2 little houses, and I used the same paper for both of them. My stamps and ink pad, I went ahead and stamped the word on, starting from the outside in. I got my stamps from Ross for about $5. I stamped the word home in one and sweet on the other one. You don't have to use stamps if you don't have any. You can also write it with a Sharpie or use a stencil, and you can write anything you want. Instead of sweet home, you can write home sweet home or anything else. I then went ahead and wrapped the top of the little houses a couple of times with some Dollar Tree twine. I made little bows using the same twine and I glued it to the other piece of twine. On the buffalo check house that is in the center, I repeated the same steps and added the little bow to the gray painted side. Since I want these little houses to be all year decor, I made sure to include not only Valentine's but also Easter. So for Easter, I decided to draw an egg and I used a beautiful color that I got from Walmart to color the egg. I painted some shadows with white paint for some more dimension. Now we have Easter. And we also have Valentine's. For Valentine's, I decided to go with the more simple look, but you can add a little heart in the center. You can paint it black, white, or leave it red or the same pink color or any color you want. And here it is for all year round. For the last DIY, I'll be using this charger plate from Dollar Tree. I think the details on this plate are beautiful, but I think this plate will look even better painted white. So I went ahead and I spray painted it white with this Rust-Oleum spray paint. I found the reindeer and the Spanish moss at the floral section at Dollar Tree. I place the Spanish moss first in the center of the plate. And I'm placing these 3 candle holders, also from Dollar Tree, in the center. And now it's time to add some of that reindeer moss. I purchased this garland from Dollar Tree for the Christmas season, but I think it's way too cute to put away, so I'll be using it all year round. And to be honest, from far away they look like little tiny hearts, so I think it's going to look super adorable for Valentine's. Finally, I added some candles I already had. Hey mis amores, thank you so much for watching today's video. I have so many more DIYs I want to share with all of you, so consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the videos I upload on this channel, and I will see you all soon. Bye!